Pumpkins on 106.7 KROQ. It is KROQ. Good morning once again, folks. How are you?
How is everybody doing?
This is Kevin. I'm Bean. We're at the super secret Capitol Records location with Billy Corgan.
Ladies and gentlemen, Billy Corgan. How are you?
Morning, sir.
Step right over here if you'd be so kind and have a seat. Billy Corgan of the Smashing Pumpkins is here with us.
Also known as the Grim Reaper. Dressed in black from head till toe. Well, now, let me tell you, Billy, let me start by saying that hair is not growing back, pal. That's not coming back in at all. I don't know whether you need lotion or what the deal is. We've got a microphone for you. Here's some water down here, hot and cold, depending on what you like.
There you go.
Where am I talking?
You're right in there, sir.
Talking right into that microphone.
How you doing this morning?
F-I-N-E.
Cool. This is, let me first say, this is terrific that you've agreed to do this for KROQ. We're very excited to have you in here in the historic Capitol Records building.
Well, I kept hearing about all these supposed demands that I'd made about you having asked people about their intelligence and things. And
That's we spent the whole week fighting off that image that it was a lot of people between you and us, but not you.
As we said on the air, Billy, and it's probably best you hear this from us, your record company people are weird. I don't know what's going on, but they're afraid of you. Do you throw temper tantrums that we don't know about? Because they are terrified of you. I thought like the Pope and Bill Clinton were going to be here today to look at the fear in their eyes. And we're like, you know, Billy's a nice guy, and he's a singer, okay? He's going to be okay. It was pretty cool. Now, these people ahead of you are your fans.
yeah, but do they know who they are?
Well, we don't know about that yet. I guess we'll find out as we pass the mic around. What we tried to do this week, since we knew we had the opportunity to do something special in an intimate setting, was to...
I heard some of the grilling.
Did you? Yeah, it was to ask people, don't embarrass us when you come down.
In between those weird Norwegian segments you do.
Oh, you're making fun of his love of Norway. Very good.
Well, now, thank you for noticing. Have you played Scandinavia?
Yes, I have.
Let's talk about that instead.
No problem.
So we spent...
I mean, nothing like playing to a blonde army that all looks the same.
We spent the week trying to get the people who were really fans of yours and who had some good questions for you, so we could have a good hour. And and every one of these people out here is convinced that's them.
Now, when you walk around on the streets and people come up to you, I know you don't walk around on the streets
I'm watching,
right? Are there a couple of basic things that people come up and they've just got to know? I mean, is there like one or two questions people always ask you all the time?
Is the band breaking up?
Right.
Are those really your teeth?
Why don't we start with both of those so we can get them out of the way?
Yeah, the band's fine. Everything's cool, groovy. We're going to make another record. And
Good news.
And I think our man Eha's going to make a solo record because it's time for him to bust out.
He's got a lot of fans, too. I tell you, we heard from a lot of James lovers this week. That's for sure. What?
Hold on. The teeth?
The teeth. Would you fake these kind of teeth? I mean, the vampire teeth. Are you kidding?
Where did the hair go wrong, Billy? What happened there? I mean, was it because like a bad dye job? Some people just say there's nothing I can do with this now. It's just time to cut it off and try again. Is that what happened with you?
I just got tired of trying to look 800 different ways. So by cutting off the hair, there's only one look.
It's a lot simpler. You don't have to spend a lot of time teasing it every morning or anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I just got up 5 minutes ago and just came right in.
Were you an Uncle Fester fan as a child? Oh, Gene Semblem, I'm sorry. That was almost a funny question. I reject it. I take it back. No comedy is allowed. Well, listen, if you don't mind, Billy, what we'd like to do is...
By the way, let us point out to you just for a second. See the guy back there in the glasses? Wave, Gene. Wave.
Wave, Gene.
He's the guy who told us that we were not allowed to have any comedy here today. That's the kind of person right there that we all hate.
Gene is my father.
It turned
better be nice to him.
When the Starling admission was made.
Now, those of you at home that are listening, we're doing Breakfast with Billy Corgan. Billy brought his guitar. Are you going to grace?
I'm going to attempt it.
Yes. Oh, that's a treat. That is a bonus. Now, Kevin, you've always wanted to play the Donahue part.
Yes, I'll wander the audience.
You're going to go out. Everybody's got questions. That's producer Frank.
You're going to wander the audience with pseudo-democratic politics, pretending to be PC and even.
Well, I don't want to be that much Donahue. No,
But given the opportunity to sleep with Marlo Thomas, yes.
I want to find people who have interesting questions for you, Billy.
So we
Frank,
thought
where
this
should
would
I
be
go first?
A good opportunity to actually have the fans ask Billy the questions in person rather than interpret them through us.
Why don't you give us your name first and then ask?
Okay, my name's Talia. Hi, Billy. I'm a really big fan. Okay, my friend told me that she heard that the Smashing Pumpkins, the name of your band, was based on a joke. I want to know, what is the joke?
Well, no, I mean, that's a slight misrepresentation. The joke was, like, I came up with the name, like, kind of like, you know, like telling some jokes with some friends, and I thought, oh, that'd be a stupid band name to have. And then there was no band. I hadn't even met anybody in the band, and then people would say, I would say, oh, I'm going to start a band. And they'd say, oh, what's the name of it? And I would say, oh, the Smashing Pumpkins, ha ha. You know, it was like, there was no band. And then when I met the band, they were like, well, what are we going to call it? And I was like, well, we could just call it this funny name for a while, and then we'll figure out a real name eventually. And then people would come up like 6 months later and go, hey, how's your band, the Smashing Pumpkins? And it just, people wouldn't forget it. And so that seemed to be the number one thing to have, which is recognition.
Do you plan on changing it to a real one, or is this one going to suit you just fine?
It seems to be working out for you.
An interesting side note, there was a woman in Chicago who used to be like a booker, and she booked some of our very first shows, and she pulled me to the side and said, you know, I really like you guys. I think you really need to change the name because you're never going to get anywhere with it.
Okay, and like also, the names of your songs, how do you come up with those? Because some of them, they're kind of off the wall. Like Mayonnaise, I don't know how you'd get that.
And they don't seem to have anything to do with the lyrics in the songs, too.
Yeah. Yeah. How do you think of them? You just like look around the room or something?
Sometimes you just got to open up your brain and just see what comes in. Mayonnaise was one of those, like, James said, what are we going to call this song? And I just kind of went mayonnaise, and that was the end of it.
So you just
I mean,
thought of some
I've spent
goo.
more time
Yeah.
explaining mayonnaise than we actually spent writing it, recording it, and playing it.
See, we all say dumb things, but Billy has to live with his for years after the fact. It's funny you talk about that with the band names because so many groups don't know what they're going to call themselves, and they get stuck with something. Like we had the Goo Goo Dolls on not too long ago, and they said, it was a joke. We were drunk. We were out one night. We said the stupidest name we could come up with, and here we are like 5 albums later. You're right. That's how it ends up happening.
But now everyone knows their name.
So to speak.
Thank you.
Very much.
Little music tie-in. It's Breakfast with Billy Corgan on KROQ. Your name is?
I'm Mike from Philadelphia.
Hi, Mike.
Hey, in your song, A Girl Named Sandoz, I know Sandoz...
Oh, I didn't write that song, though.
Sit down, Mike.
And that song was written by the Animals in like about 1966, and it's a vague reference to LSD.
Mike, we're going to have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry.
Does that answer your question? Thank you, Mike.
Frank, throw him out on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. Goodbye, Mike.
All right, your name is?
My name's Clear.
Go ahead, Clear.
Mike.
Wait a minute, Clear?
Yep.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. I heard that Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness was originally supposed to be a rock opera, and then it went no?
No, I mean, originally, you know, in my rambling dreaming, I thought that maybe I would make it more conceptual. But when I actually started getting into writing the songs, I realized that I couldn't really write the song about where the boy hatchets its parents to death with an axe. So I just skipped over that part and just wrote whatever came out and then tried to put the songs that seemed to go together.
Did you do that primarily by yourself? The whole putting it all together and deciding what goes where?
I worked a lot with Flood on that. You know, there's probably about 20 B-sides that are going to come out that were written. So, you know, it's about 50 songs written or something ridiculous. We just tried to find the ones that seem to go together. I mean, if you ever hear any of the B-sides, you'll hear stuff that you think, well, I could see where that would have fit in the album, you know, but for whatever reason. I mean, at some point the album was like 35 songs long or something like that, and we were like, well, no one's going to listen to this for sure. So we cut it down to a slim 28. And
Well, we'll listen to the rest.
thank you.
Hey, Billy, was there a lot of pressure, I mean, from the record company not to do a double album? Because those albums in rock and roll are few and far between.
I know you probably won't believe this, but I have to say that I could not believe the amount of support that I got from Virgin Records. It was amazing. I said, you know, I mean, your second major label album, you know, your last one does really well. You know, traditionally double records don't sell well. And I said, I want to do this. And they said, as long as it's good, we have no problem with it. And that's that. And when they heard it, they were like, great. I was amazed by the amount of support.
And I got to tell you, you passed. We made a big deal at the time when the record came out that you kind of passed the savings on to the consumers in that, because you could charge a lot more for a double record than you're getting at a real low list price, which I know your fans appreciated.
It was really important to us to have the album be focused about music and not about anything else. And so, obviously, people were concerned about the pricing and, your basic fan not buying the record. So we figured if it was 1.5 times the amount of a normal CD for 2 albums worth of music, I mean, nobody could really complain, and only people in Norway seem to be. So.
Now, don't be talking about my people like that, Billy, because I'll take you out of here.
Your name is?
My name is Owen. I was wondering I read on Gish that you had trouble getting a group effort as far as getting everybody together to work on the album. And I heard that you had done all the instruments, all the instrument work.
That's not true at all. I mean, I think we probably had more problems than Siamese Dream. I mean, people always ask about, I mean, we made the mistake of ever telling anybody, because if we'd never told anyone, no one would ever known. But essentially what happened was, we were all basically kind of normal, dumb people, and suddenly we were cast in this high-pressure situation, in economics and, perfection problems on my part all kind of seemed to feed into all that. And it's very hard to explain how the band works, but the band works, so you know what I mean. And I don't. All I want to say is that, I love my band members, mates. They're amazing people. They're all individuals. If you've ever met them, I mean, they are not my pawns, and we are a real band. If you've ever seen us play live, you know that. I mean, we are not a bunch of automatons. So
you said that you guys kind of thought of yourselves as normal dumb people, and then all of a sudden you're in this spotlight. Do you still think of yourselves that way?
I think for most people that would meet us, they're pretty amazed at how basically normal we are. I mean, we disappoint a lot of people by not being more excessively rock starish, but having to go through different levels of attention and media and people asking you questions, you just realize that it's all some dumb game, and you can play it if you want, and you can have people be in awe of you if you want, but ultimately all we really care about is playing music, and if you only have a certain amount of energy, we just decided to focus that energy on playing music and not on being rock stars, so if it disappoints people, if people don't seem to like it or whatever, that's fine, but I think the proof's in the pudding, I mean, the fact that a band that nearly broke up and self-destructed 3 years ago could put out a double record and do it as a band and still play and still get along, I think that's pretty amazing.
Could we see a tantrum here today? Is that possible? Could we request one? Because a lot of us have never had the opportunity up close.
I don't think I have tantrums.
Hey, Billy, I don't know what you want to do schedule-wise as far as playing and singing. If you want to wait, you want to do something now?
I'd rather wait a little bit because my voice has still got the morning fog.
You let us know. We want to hear you play. So
how are you digging this tour so far? You seem to be having a good time on stage, if the reviews are accurate.
We're having the best time I think we've ever had, and the band's playing great. The shows are really fun. It's really just about music. I mean, we try to have some nice psychedelic lights for you on drugs, but beyond that, I mean, we're just trying to play our songs, and mostly it's melancholy stuff. I mean, people want to hear like demos I put out like 9 years ago and stuff, but beyond that, it's about music. We play a lot of music, and it's not a boring night. And if it is, leave. But I think it's really cool. I think I'm having a great time.
Why? I know this question you get asked a lot, but why are you playing such tiny venues when you could clearly, play to so many more fans in the same amount of time?
Well, because we play 2 sets, and the first part is like kind of acoustic-y, not all acoustic, but more quiet. And once you get past about 1,000 people, you can forget it. It's just, there's no way. I mean, people get bored, people can't feel you or sense what's going on, and it's just, it doesn't work. There's just no way. So we won't pretend that it's going to work. I mean, obviously we can make more money and whatever, but we don't really care, so we just want to play the best show. So we realize we're cutting out one part of the fans to make this happen, but the fans who get in are going to see something that's different and unique and cool. So that's, you just have to make those decisions.
If you're just joining us, it's Kevin Bean on 106.7 KROQ. We are live from historic Capitol Records, celebrating its 40th anniversary in the recording studio room that we are sitting in with Billy Corgan. It's Breakfast with Billy. And Kevin is playing the part of Phil Donahue in the audience right now with some more questions.
What is your name?
My name's Heather. This is sort of a digression from questions about your music, but I've noticed in all your interviews you're very articulate and you're very insightful, and obviously your lyrics are pretty much poetry. So I was wondering if that has anything to do with what you read, or if you read, and if you do, what it is.
Can I ask, what does articulate mean and what does insightful mean?
Yeah.
If you could translate for us.
So I don't know how to answer those kind of questions.
You read books, magazines, newspapers, Braille, what?
I read a lot when I was young. I don't read as much now that I'm busy all the time.
What kinds of stuff did you read when you were younger?
A lot of stuff like, The Jungle Book and Nietzsche and all sorts of fun stuff. I don't know. I just read everything I could get my hands on, and it's hard to say with language where you come from and where everything else comes from. It's so culturally tied,
Do most of your songs come from real life situations or from your active imagination, do you think?
I don't know. I mean, I try to write about things that mean something to me, but it's not always like people they think it's all autobiographical. I mean, I'm so busy I don't even really have a life to live, so I'm kind of writing about a life that I could be living if I had a life to live.
And all that's left is mayonnaise with your schedule.
You got it.
All right, that was a good question, though. Thank you.
All right, what is your name?
My name is Ron. And I was just wondering, on songs like Soma and Starla, which are two of my favorite ones, the music is very involved. And I was wondering, do you have it written down, or do you just kind of out of your head? Because they're pretty long and they have different mood changes and everything.
Songs like that tend to start from like a very simple idea. Like with Soma, it started with a riff that James had, and then we just played the riff like seemingly forever. And then we would add a part here, add a part there, and it'll evolve over, say, 2 or 3 months. Because it's finding that really delicate balance between form and function and whatever. I mean, those songs tend to take a long time and drive everybody nuts because I change them about 40 times.
But you don't spend a lot of time writing it down, you just do it.
No, because songs like that really have to come from the heart, and it's not something you can just kind of sit down and write on paper. It's the emotional parts of it need to kind of be felt out by the band.
Hello, your name is?
Susan. Good morning, first of all.
Good
now
morning.
that you're busy all the time, when do you most miss being anonymous?
Right now?
I think it's shopping. Like when you're shopping for socks and underwear, and the sales clerk recognizes you and wants an autograph as you're holding like pairs of underwear under your arm,
Like when you're buying Winnie the Pooh boxers, it's not when you want to be recognized.
Yeah.
What's your favorite time of year?
I'm sorry?
What's your favorite time of year to go do things by yourself?
All right, we got to ask her to leave. I'm sorry, that was a bad question. That was a bad question. See, we're trying to weed that out. I'm sorry you had to hear that, Billy.
Your name is?
My name's David. Hi, Billy.
Hi, David.
Thanks a lot for being here this morning.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate it. Listen, a lot of artists, when they get famous or popular or successful, tend to sacrifice and lose a lot of their integrity, and you seem to not have, and I respect that quite a bit.
Thank you.
How do you do it with all these people wanting a piece of you all the time? How do you stay focused and centered?
It's very difficult. I mean, I really am trying not to be the complaining, whining rock star guy, but it's very difficult because there are a lot of demands, and there's certainly a lot of
phone for you, Billy.
That would be my mom calling. There's a lot of weird demands that people never see, like, that if you don't make a video a certain amount of good, especially on your third album, you're going to be screwed, and that you need certainly singles that are going to get played, or KROQ won't really be interested in you. And there's a lot of weird pressures that people don't really see, and you come across artistic decisions versus commercial decisions. And a lot of people can't understand. Like, for example, there's a lot of people who are upset that we're playing such small shows. They go, well, why aren't you playing the Enormo Dome? It's those kind of things. You get very caught in between what people want from you and what you want from yourself. And ultimately, you are serving the fans of your band. It's not the other way around. But you have to find that weird kind of combination. It's very difficult, and it gets more difficult. But we've just made up our minds. No matter what, I don't care what anybody thinks no matter what, we are not going to sell out or embarrass ourselves. And there's plenty of things that we could, I mean, the biggest one was when Nirvana became popular seemingly overnight, you know, all of a sudden everybody was grunge, and we would go to Europe and we'd see these big ads like, you know, from Seattle, like bigger than the name of the band, you know. And we never played up the thing that we'd been on Sub, you know, we just tried to be the Smashing Pumpkins, and it hurt us in 91, but it sure makes a difference in 96 that we are what we are. So I'm glad we stuck with it, and we will continue to do so.
And that's why I like you.
Thank you.
That's why I like
Thank you.
Thank you. It's a good time to take a quick break.
I think so.
Give Billy a quick break. It's Breakfast with Billy Corgan on the world-famous KROQ, and we'll be right back.
Hey, 33 on the world-famous KROQ, 106.7 KROQ. Once again, it is Breakfast with Billy. That is Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins, and you're listening to The Kevin and Bean Show. We are here in historic Capitol Records this morning in a recording studio. We've got a chance to ask questions of Billy. His fans are here. Kevin's in the audience, and who's next?
He also has the guitar, by the way, and he's going to play for us in a little bit.
No, that's to beat someone who asks him another dumb question.
Right. Your name is?
Melissa?
Melissa, what's your question?
Well, first of all, before I ask, I always want to say that I admire you a lot. You're a beautiful person, and I love you. And
Love you too.
thank you. Oh my God. Anyways,
If you two would like to go out again, we'll pay for the date.
all right.
Let's see
I'm
what
game.
the audience says, you know.
That's right.
All right. My question is, okay, if you weren't a musician or like didn't know how to play guitar or anything, what do you think you would be doing with your life right now?
What interests you?
To be honest, people ask that question, and I usually give the funny answer about like selling pot to your brother, but I have no idea. I mean, I'm 28 years old now, and from the time I'm 15, I have thought about literally nothing else.
Is there
jelly
something,
beans and girls, but
is there something else that you don't have time to like now because your career takes so much of your energies?
Macrame, you know, that type of thing.
I think this is kind of art related, but I think I'm going to try and write a book, which I think would be kind of.
What are they applauding for?
Huh?
What are they applauding
They're
for?
applauding because
I don't know.
they would like a book.
They haven't seen it yet, but
Also, I have one more question. I don't want to seem like a ditzy airhead, but can I please sit next to you on that couch?
Nope. It's the airhead. We reject you totally. Hey, let me ask you this, Billy, because the questioner has the Zero shirt on.
yeah, that is the bootleg.
That's what I was going to
version.
ask. You don't get a piece of that, right?
No, I don't.
You want us to take it off of her?
No, we're threatening people now with bodily harm.
You're
soon.
pretty fond of your Zero shirt, aren't you, Billy?
It means a lot to me.
It does seem to be the standard stage attire. In fact, now we're starting to see him pop up on the streets, too.
You know, a couple of different people did call and ask about that, and that's that you haven't been seen outside of a Zero shirt, it seems, for how long?
A while.
4 or 5 months.
It's part of that same kind of idea about, like, not really paying much attention except, you know, so no hair, Zero shirt, silver pants.
You don't have to think about it when you get up in the morning.
That's it.
But you have more than one of them, right?
There are 4 Zero shirts.
All right, that's what we want to find out. Just make sure. Your name is?
David. First of all, good morning, Billy. Thanks again for doing this. This is really great. In the Rolling Stone interview, you said that your sound would be making a departure from what you called the classic Smashing Pumpkin sound after Melancholy. I'm wondering, is that true? And can you tell us where you see it might be going?
Yeah. Well, a lot of people have been asking about that. I have absolutely no idea what we're going to do. But we started the band almost 8 years ago, and we've been playing this, ridiculous form of prog rock for a long time, and we feel we've taken it about as far as we can go. And certainly, I mean, things like 1979 are probably good windows to like where the band is headed. I mean, there's just a point where how many times can you beat people over the head with the metal? We've always enjoyed doing it, and we think we do it very well. But there's just a point where, and it's certainly, with all the imitative bands that exist, KROQ.
You've heard the Rust record.
Not only of yours truly, but of certainly. I mean, if I hear one more Nirvana band, I'm going to throw up. It ceases to have the impact that it once had, which is, it's life. It happens. But the difference of what we were doing in, say, 91 as opposed to 96 doesn't have the same visceral impact that it once had, because people they can't tell the difference between the real thing and the imitations. And the imitators didn't have to spend those years figuring out how to do it. They just learned how to imitate. So that's all they do. So you're competing with people basically doing what you do, probably better in some ways. So we're tired of that, and we're ready to try and move on to something new that take people a couple more years to imitate, and we'll just keep doing that until we fall dead.
When you started out, was there a band that you wanted to be like, that you kind of imitated at the very beginning?
When we first started, I thought if we could be the literal difference between the Beatles, Jane's Addiction, and Black Sabbath, and Led Zeppelin, that's where I wanted to be. So
those are high goals. Billy Corgan here on the couch with us at on 106.7 KROQ.
I'm sitting on a different couch than you, though, so just want people to know that.
I sense that's how you like it.
There's an important clarification. All right, your name is?
Priscilla. I have a couple of questions. I heard a rumor that Smashing Pumpkins was supposed to be doing a Pink Floyd tribute type album, but I wanted to know if that was true.
Not true.
Okay.
And how'd you like playing with Pink Floyd at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
That was
that
my
cool?
other question.
That was really wild, because when I was 17, my grandmother had cancer. This is a sad story, so I'll keep it short. But my grandmother had cancer, and there was one Pink Floyd song in particular, Wish You Were Here, that was like the song that kind of got me through it. Like people often tell me there's one of my songs that gets them. So I understand. And that song really got me through a tough time. And, so here I am 11 years later, and I'm in, my hotel room with David Gilmour playing this song, and it was really wild. I mean, they were wonderful people, and I was happy to do it. But there's certainly, life has a weird cyclical nature to it.
People are, I think, sometimes surprised at some of the bands that you pay homage to, like when you covered the Fleetwood Mac song, Landslide, when you covered the Depeche Mode song, Never Let Me Down Again. Interesting choices, considering the rest of your band's
But
work.
see, the thing is, if you really think about it, I mean, we ask people to accept us without sense of genre. I mean, yeah, okay, we all like alternative music, but the fact of the matter is good music is good music. It doesn't matter if it's country, rap, or whatever. And so, when we were growing up, there were bands that we listened to that were the popular bands of the day, as you would know, and we didn't really think about whether Fleetwood Mac was alternative.
We just liked them.
We just liked them, and that's it. So we like bands that are good. Depeche Mode's a great band, and Fleetwood Mac's a great band, and Pink Floyd's a great band, and I don't care what anybody says. That those bands mean a lot to me and always will, because when I needed them, they were there for me. So,
Well, I certainly admire that. I mean, we talk about it on KROQ from time to time. There are some people who always have to be too hip for the room, and they can only like whatever's popular at the time.
But they're lying.
I think
they're
you're
totally lying. I mean, I remember Courtney once telling me about how Kurt had an Oingo Boingo record that was like so worn out could barely be played. And there you go. I mean.
Your name is?
I'm James Brown. Good morning.
Morning,
I just
James.
wanted to know, I have two questions.
And that was wrong what you did to your wife, man.
Hey,
that ain't right.
If she don't cook breakfast,
All right.
I got two questions. I want to know what album from Jimi Hendrix had the biggest impact on your life?
Can you say that again? I'm sorry, I was dying.
What album from Jimi Hendrix had the biggest impact on your life?
I would say Band of Gypsies.
Really?
Yeah.
That's great. And do you still tour with the Frogs, or do you play with them at all?
I'm still very close to the Frogs. In fact, they just played on a Pumpkins B-side with me, and I love those guys. I mean, I just think they're the best. I mean, not everybody gets them, but they're an amazing band.
All right, very cool. You're listening to 106.7 KROQ, Breakfast with Billy with Kevin and Bean.
It's so sad.
What's that?
It's all so sad. See, we've squeezed all the funny out of it.
All right, we're going to need somebody to tell a joke. Who had the joke?
Someone did have one.
What's your name?
Fantasia.
Now, Fantasia, you told us this on the phone, but I want you to tell us in front of all. Your parents are not telling you something. There is something going on.
Yeah, the middle name is Matterhorn.
Exactly.
No, that's it.
Her last name is Darling, Billy. That's
my God.
Fantasia Darling. I would pay $2.99 a minute to talk to you on the phone.
Cool.
Are you sure you haven't?
No, I'm not. All right, go ahead,
I'm sure. I was wondering what it was like for you to grow up. Like, were you close with your parents and your friends? What kind of things did you do?
You're back into the sad questions again now.
Oh, well, I don't want to make you melancholy, but...
I mean, certainly much ado about doing has been made about my seeming childhood. I mean, I probably had a childhood like most people have. It's not... People have tried to tell me that like they lay that whole trip on me, like, you know, when you would complain when you're little and you're hungry and your mom would say, well, there's people in Cambodia starving, you know. I've gotten that whole vibe about, well, there's people who've had worse childhoods than you. The whole point of me talking about what I talked about was I really feel that a lot of people have the exact same experience. Parents split up. You know, you got to go through a lot of weird changes when you're little. Growing up is hard enough with acne and whatever else, you know, you got to deal with. And so I just tried to talk about it because I thought people could relate on like, hey, oh, I understand. That's where I come from, too. That's all.
Were you kind of a loner or popular guy or just in the middle?
I was like the guy who had, like, you know, the stoner friend and the athlete friend and the alternative friend. It was like I just liked anybody if I liked them. And I wasn't popular and I wasn't unpopular. I just was.
Were you in the audiovisual club?
I was in the audiovisual club at one point.
Were you in the photography club?
No. Wasn't allowed in.
Student council?
Did serve on the student council, wrote for the school newspaper.
Did you ever toilet paper anyone's house?
No.
All right. Thank you. Let's step right up here.
Hey, thank you, Fantasia. Let's go to breakfast later. Okay, cool.
Your name is?
David. Go ahead. I want to know, why do you think your tour worked not using Ticketmaster and people like Pearl Jam couldn't tour?
Good question.
Well, in defense of Pearl Jam, I mean, they were trying to do a much larger tour. I mean, our system is only, you know, 1,200 tickets a night. I don't think we could do our system at a large scale, you know.
Just because of time, it would just take too long to
Yeah,
take
it takes a
everybody in.
long time to get people in, and some people have complained about the hassle of getting the ticket, but the fact of the matter is I've never seen so many fans at a show. I mean, it's like 95% fans, and especially for any of those of you who go to any of these shows in L.A., you won't see a lot of people in suits standing around. It's fans, and that's the way we want it, and that's why we did it.
You eliminated the scalpers virtually 100% on this one, too, didn't you?
Pretty much. I mean, if you're going to scalp a ticket, you're going to have to go in with the scalper. I mean, that's pretty much it.
I got to tell you, it was like another earthquake going through Southern California when people who happened to be listening to KROQ a couple of weeks ago, at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, the announcement came that tickets are on sale in 2 hours, go. There wasn't a lot of advance warning. Is that part of the strategy, too? Does that?
Yeah, because it doesn't give any people any time to figure it out, cheat, call their friend at the record store and make sure that they get a ticket.
Right.
I mean, we're trying to do, in this case, we're trying to do everything we can do to make sure that if you want a ticket, you can get a ticket. I know that people are going right now going, but I didn't. But the fact of the matter is there were certainly warnings that we were going to be putting a show on sale, and you know, it's life. I'm sorry, but you know, the fact of the matter is you know, I've talked to people who stood out all night and they got a ticket. I did the same thing. You know, I'm interviewing Eddie Van Halen a couple days for a guitar magazine. I stood out for 14 hours to see Van Halen, and I got a ticket in the balcony. You know what I mean? But I wanted a ticket, and I got a ticket. So, you know, all we're trying to do is reward people who really want to go. I know it's a hassle in your job and everything, but if you want to go, we're trying to make it that you can go. That's all.
We did hear that you are, at least there's some talk of you coming back to play some bigger venues later this year, too,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, I mean, this is like just the fun tour.
Right.
Not to say that later won't be fun, but as anyone who's been to a big show knows, it's a different kind of show.
Different vibe.
We have, you know, we're not going to be playing, you know, the 28th song on, Siamese Dream or Melancholy or whatever. You know, you're going to be playing Disarm and Today and the songs that people know, and it's a different kind of show, and there's a lot more arm waving that goes on. You know?
We've got, there's like a half a dozen people in this room, by the way, who have tickets to see at the Palace this weekend.
Yeah, who has tickets, by the way?
Raise your hands if you do.
Okay.
Lucky some bitches.
I have some tickets, my own tickets that I want to give away.
Wow.
And also, this is kind of an interesting request, and we'll get to this later if you want. But I have not plenty, but enough tickets probably to accommodate most of you in this room. If you want to go to, wait, don't applaud yet. If you want to go to San Francisco. So,
well, that's pretty cool.
So we'll try and take care of everybody. But
Okay,
but the best way I think to give away the LA tickets, because obviously it's less hassle, is we'll play the Pumpkins pop quiz.
Pumpkins pop
quiz?
quiz?
Test your Pumpkins knowledge.
Okay, that's great. Let's take a break. Let's take a quick break,
idea.
give you a
Okay.
little rest. When we come back, we'll do the Pumpkins pop quiz. We'll give away some tickets, plus you're going to perform.
Yeah, I'll play.
Billy Corgan live on the world famous KROQ. We'll be right back.
And 2 days a year that we actually recommend listening to the Kevin and Bean Show, but today is one of them. We are here in a room full of KROQ fans and Smashing Pumpkins fans with Billy Corgan. This is our Breakfast with Billy. We're in historic Capitol Records, deep in the bowels, celebrating their 40th anniversary of recording in this room. And Billy, this is kind of a surprise to us. I have two good announcements. One, as you can see, has brought his guitar, which was a bonus we did not expect. And two is Capitol Records has told us we can run a little long, so we can stay a little after 10 o'clock.
Great.
So that's good news.
But I don't want to stay. No, but we can.
No
one asked me.
Well, we can't, though. That's what's cool. You have the guitar and you're offering to sing a song or two. We're delighted. What do you want to do?
I want to sing a Cat Stevens song.
Cat Stevens is fine.
Billy Corgan live on the world famous KROQ.
Shakedown 1979. Cool kids never have the time. On a live wire right up off the street, you and I should meet. Junebug skipping like a stone, with the headlights pointed at the dawn. We were sure we never see an end to it all, and I don't even care to shake these zipper blues, and we don't know just where our bones will rest to dust, I guess, forgotten and absorbed to the earth below. Double cross the vacant and the bored, that'll show just what we have in store. Slipping dudes down the sea, and we don't even care. As restless as we are, feel the pull in the land of 1,000 gills, and poor somewhere lamented and assured to the lights in towns below, faster than the speed of sound, faster than we thought we'd come beneath the sound of home. Justine never knew the rules, hung down with the freaks and ghouls. No apologies ever need be made. I know you better than you fake it. See, we don't even care to shake these zipper blues, and we don't know just where our bones will rest to dust, I guess, forgotten and absorbed in the sound of home. Street hates the urgency of now. As you see, there's no one around.
Thank you. Billy Corgan, live on KROQ-FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles. Kevin and Bean doing Breakfast with Billy. Do we have time for some more questions from the audience, or do you want to get to the Smashing Pumpkins trivia?
You are in control.
We'll do some more questions then. If you're up for that, your name is?
Danielle? I'm kind of nervous because I've been this is really important to me. I've been waiting years to meet you, and I think you're beautiful.
Waiting years to meet you.
Inside and out. And I just wanted to know, I saw you in various pictures wearing a flannel that looked exactly like Kurt Cobain's.
Yeah,
and
that's an interesting story, actually. If you'd
and
like
it
to
said in
hear
the
it.
magazine that it was his.
Yeah, it is true. It was his coat.
How did you get it?
Well, it's an interesting, one of those crazy Courtney stories. We were playing in Seattle, and it was for some reason it was the summer, but it was cold, and she goes, "Here, I brought you this coat," and I look at it, and it looks awful Seattle-like, and I look at her, and she goes, "Don't worry, it's mine." It wasn't his. Fine. So I'm wearing this coat. Ta-da-da. I go to New York to do the MTV Awards, and people that knew Kurt and know me are like, "Oh my God, you're wearing his coat. What the hell's going on?" And I'm like, told the story, off goes the coat. I do the spin interview, and the guy was the guy who wrote the book on Nirvana, the Come As You Are or whatever. So, and he asked me about the coat. I told him the story. It was an innocent, like I didn't know. And then suddenly it's in the thing that I'm wearing it like some kind of badge, and then I'm Kurt Jr. or something, So there's one of those crazy Courtney stories.
In reality, you were just cold.
I'm always cold.
Don't you have to go way out of your way to, because it seems like everything you do, if it's one step that direction, people just go crazy, and then you've got to go way out of your way to go, no, it's just a little step.
I mean, whatever, it's like, if you feel like you did something wrong, then you probably did, but I didn't do anything wrong. And
well, you spend half your time, it seems, damage control, on wacky
Yeah,
stories.
well, I gave people plenty to hit me over the head with, that's for damn sure.
Hey, we heard a few, maybe some of the people in this room called us this week to say there was some sort of a musical collaboration with Courtney Love at some point or in the future, or you know anything about that?
Wrote a song for, writing a song for?
No comment.
Whoops, hold on, that's her question. Go ahead.
Yeah, I heard that you wrote a song for Courtney Love, but you didn't want to take credit for it.
Billy doesn't know what you're
I'm not
about.
talking about that at all.
Okay.
There is a song, let's just say. Whether she records it, I record it, is yet to be determined. But as of this moment, I'm recording it, and she's not recording it.
Well, that's not too mysterious. Do you envision doing collaborations with other artists? Are there people you'd like to work with?
I would absolutely love to. I mean, like the other night, we wanted Dave Navarro from the Chili Peppers to come down and play the American Music Awards with us. He couldn't do it, unfortunately, but we don't understand the whole divisiveness between music, and we would like to work and collaborate and have people play on stage with us. And
you get a
whatever.
chance to meet Lionel Richie the other night?
He did give me a back rub.
Actually, by the way, while we're talking Lionel Richie, Kevin and I have a dollar bet on this question, and I feel like I need to ask you now. Barry Manilow fan, yes or no?
No.
Yes.
Kevin wins the dollar. Thank you. Very nice.
Here's your dollar.
All right, what is your name?
Way to let me down, Billy.
I'm Cameron.
Hi,
I
Cameron.
wanted to thank you, Billy, Kevin and Bean, and everybody else who made this possible, because I appreciate it.
You're not winning an Oscar here, man. Ask the question.
All right.
Whoa.
Let me just say,
love those fans, don't you?
and let me just say,
He didn't just thank me, he thanked you.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say, is Bean and I had very little to do with this.
That's
just so you know.
They didn't even want us to host this, but Tammy Heidi was busy or something, so I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did ask for Tammy.
I know you did. Everybody does.
I wanted to ask how much influence you have in making your own videos. Well, not your own, but the ones
Total.
Total?
Absolutely.
It's not just the director, it's...
No.
We had the woman call who, I guess you used her house for the 1979 video.
Yeah, there's an interesting story.
What happened there? She gave you a coat. She told you it was hers. You gave her a song.
She gave me a little more than a coat.
Oh, really? Oh.
She never told us.
Kidding.
She never told us that on the air.
Valencia, girl. No, it's like we they rented us their house on a nice, shady California street to do the video, and we do the video, and the guy's worried that the Jesus paintings are going to fall off the wall, and then, then, as some of you may know, they lost that part of the video, and we had to come back out here and reshoot in the same house. It was interesting.
You actually never did get the tapes back.
Kids, imagine me trying to control kids going crazy in somebody's living room. It was strange.
We put out the notice that morning that the tapes were lost. I guess the guy drove off and they were on the top of his car or something.
Not meant to be.
We put out the notice. You had a reward offered and the whole deal. They just never turned up. That's too bad. All right, you're listening to KROQ, by the way. It's KROQ-FM, Pasadena, Los Angeles, 10 o'clock. We're running a little long. We're having breakfast with Billy Corgan from the Smashing Pumpkins.
Your name is?
Sabrina. I wanted to ask you to, okay, the thing is, like, I never know anything about what's going on with you. It's like the first time they ever say anything about you. How do you keep, like, so out of the press?
I believe at this point it's the press that wants to keep us out of the press, you know.
Okay.
I mean, for example, the Spin Band of the Year, the one with the Kurt and coat and the whole bit. I mean, they told us you're Band of the Year, you know. So we think, fine. If you go back and read the article, there's 2 paragraphs about music. There's literally 2 paragraphs about music. The whole article is about me and temper tantrums and money and Kurt, and it's not the band that's not distilling this kind of information. It's the press trying to turn something into something that isn't even there.
Okay, one more thing. I wanted to tell you about the Zero shirt. Wear it all the time in the silver pants. I think you look drop dead sexy.
Oh, thank you. I'll be wearing it when you come over tonight. How about you wearing this special G-string Zero version?
Oh, baby. How is your wife, Billy? Bad time to ask.
Your name is?
Yasmina. I have a couple of questions. One is if you have any religious affiliations, because you do mention Jesus and God in some of your songs, and I wanted to know if it was that you'd been disappointed or if you just don't have any at all.
I say this with no offense, but the Jesus people keep trying to seek me out, you know, and I'm totally fine. Me and God are getting along just fine, and personally, what you believe in is not really that important, just as long as you believe in something, and hopefully it's good and positive. That's all. I mean, but I don't. People have agendas as far as what they believe in and whether or not I believe in those things, and that's always really strange to me. The most amazing man I've ever met religiously was a monk that was on Lollapalooza as part of the Adam Yauch had got the Tibetan monks to come on Lollapalooza to perform to kind of raise Tibetan consciousness, and I got to know this one monk, and he said, Buddhists don't care how you believe, what you believe, how you do it, whatever. We just want you to believe in something, and hopefully that's good. And that's the best message anyone's ever given me spiritually. Anything beyond that, I don't care to hear. If you believe in something, more power to you, but what I believe in is really not that important.
That monk is the one that shaved your head, isn't he? Be honest.
Yes, he did.
Thank you. Yes, go ahead.
I also wanted to know if Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness were the last album, let's just say, I hope it isn't, but if it were last album you guys put together, would you be able to say that you've reached your goal, you've accomplished what you wanted to accomplish, or is there some... Okay.
Yes. I think it's not going to be the last Smashing Pumpkins album, but if it was, I think we've pretty much done what we always wanted to do.
Cool. Thank you. Step right up. Your name is?
Louis. Hey, Billy. How you doing?
Hi, Louis.
I just want to ask you one question. It's simple. I was curious to know what has been the happiest day of your life.
Besides today, of course, you know.
I mean, how do you answer that? You know, today's okay.
All right, let's do one more question, and then Billy, you're offering to give away some tickets, right?
Yeah, we're going to play.
We'll do some Pumpkins trivia?
Pumpkins trivia.
All right, let's do one more question, then we'll let you do the questions, Billy.
All right, your name is?
Tiffany. I really enjoy a lot of the string instruments, and I noticed you used something like a harp on Cupid de Lac, and I'm a recent fan, just since Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, so now I get to go back and learn about all your other albums. But how do you incorporate those kind of instruments? And I think that's what makes you stand out.
Thank you.
That's one of the things I enjoy. How do you decide to incorporate those?
We always just try to think what's the best thing for the song, you know, and not really, because people are always like, well, I came to hear Disarm and I didn't hear that string part, you know. It's like, well, you know, if you want to hear the string part, listen to the album. I mean, we try to make the best albums, and you know what I mean? So it's just those kind of decisions. We sit around and go, you know, what ridiculous thing can we do next? You know?
And the more you do in the studio, the harder it is to do it on stage, I guess.
But to me, Disarm's a really good song, and it sounds just as good another way.
Right.
You know, but people fall in love with a version, you know, and, you know, as anyone who's seen us live knows, we can't even come close to playing things like that, so we don't even try.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you need a minute to get some questions together? Should we break into a song?
Being king of Pumpkinland, I know the trivia.
He knows the stuff.
He doesn't have to go to his book. All right, everybody start. I don't know how we're going to do this.
Because this is kind of unrehearsed.
Well, I promised this girl here that she'd get to ask a question because she was begging for some tickets.
No problem.
You want to ask a question?
No, I asked
you
the
ask her a question. Okay, cool.
And then you get a short period of time to answer. If you answer the question right, you get tickets. If not, well.
And you're talking about for the Palace across the street this weekend?
You got it.
All right. What's your name, by the way?
Cindy.
Pressure's on.
I'm sending. Here's a softball question.
Okay, here we go.
So if you can't get this, I mean.
The smashing fill in the blank.
Okay, all right. Okay, you ready?
What?
All right. Okay. Don't anybody.
Nobody yell it out. This is for her. Okay.
What is the name of James's dog?
She's bouncing up and down.
She just doesn't know it is the thing. Doesn't know it. Do you want me to pick somebody else?
No, Bug Superstar.
Bug Superstar. How many people know that? Oh,
all right, now, you just want to pick someone else at random to ask a question of?
I'll tell you what. Why don't you pick somebody and Billy ask the person that question, and if they get it right, they get the tickets.
All right, this person right here.
You're right here. Okay, you're on.
Okay.
Go ahead, Billy.
What is the name of the first Pumpkin single?
I Am One.
That's it.
Check you out.
You win the hibachi.
Very good.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome. You and a guest will be going to the rock
Tell them what
show.
they won, Bob. Do you want to go for what's behind the door? Okay. Pick someone else, Kevin.
World famous Aggie will take care of you.
All right, let's see.
You and Bean have a close.
Yes. Stand up.
Those of you just tuning in, this is kind of a bonus. Billy's now doing trivia to give away tickets to their shows at the Palace, which are completely sold out.
Your name is?
Liana.
And go ahead.
Okay. What is the correct pronunciation of James's last name?
Fija.
That's it.
Yes.
They're going to the show.
Boyfriend, much more excited. Oh, you're not taking him. Well, that's quite a little story. All right, what should we do with these people who are winning the ticket?
How many more you got, Billy?
We can
want to do 2 more?
Maybe 2 or 3 more is cool. Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and pick someone else, Kevin.
Let's see. Let's go with...
By the way, while Kevin is getting over to somebody, let me remind you, listening to K-Rock starting at noon today, we qualify you to win a trip to go see the Pumpkins in Australia on this tour.
Back here in the surf shirt and the black sitting back there.
Okay. All right, the question is, even though it doesn't have a name, it's pretty obvious. There's a song at the end of Gish that runs after Daydream. And what's the name of that song?
He brought his CDs looking at it, but he doesn't see it listed.
Can you just shave my head? I brought a shaver here. Let's shave my head if you give me tickets.
Shave my head is not right. I'm sorry.
That is incorrect.
Here, we'll try you. We'll try you. You have the chance.
No.
Crazy?
No, but
called Crazy?
No, but you can't. It's like the rules are one person, one vote.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well,
sorry.
You would have had a chance at it.
Good thing she wasn't
we
right.
have very specific rules in Pumpkinland.
All right. Well, what's the answer, Billy?
I'm going crazy.
I'm going crazy. So close. Pick someone else, Kevin.
All right, let's
We're
go
gonna do 2
with
more here.
2 more. Right here in the glasses. Stand up.
All right, Billy. Next question.
Okay. What is Darcy's last name?
Redsky.
That's correct.
There you go. Congratulations. We're going to the show.
That's your tickets. Congratulations.
All right, we got 1 more.
We have 1 more. Let's go up here in the front. This is the first person here today, I was told, right here. Stand up.
She was in line at like 6:30 this morning.
What is your name?
Mary.
All right, go ahead.
Hey, Mary. Name the 2 videos that we did off of Gish.
Okay. I Am One.
Incorrect.
Oh.
No. Wait, Billy, you rock my world.
Sorry.
Nope.
All right, 1 more.
1 more question?
1 more.
1 more person, 1 more question? Let's see. This guy right here in the jacket, stand up.
Billy, do people ever ask you questions?
Does
that
he already
you
have
don't know
tickets?
Stuff that is
You already
so
have tickets?
obscure that you don't even know it?
Yes, baby.
Because I've always heard.
Sit back. Sit back. He already has tickets, so we're
Okay,
not
1
gonna
more.
go.
We got to hurry. Got to wrap.
It has to be somebody who does not have tickets. You in the orange shirt, stand up. Do you not have tickets?
Pandemonium is broken out.
All right.
All right, what's your name?
Linda.
This is a toughie now. Okay? You don't have to say the year, but what is my birthday?
It's March 17th.
Very good.
About that.
Tickets.
Check that out.
Congratulations.
Man, I can honestly say we've never seen that happen before. That's very cool. All right, it's about 10:10. I know that we're going to be clearing out of here in just a few minutes. Billy, anything else? Anything else on your mind?
Hold on.
We'll take care of the San Francisco thing after we go off the air. I'm in no hurry, so we're cool with that.
Let me ask you another question, because there's plenty of people who would still like to ask questions. We'll stay on with you if you'd like to, or we can do it either way.
I'm totally fine to hang, so if you want to hang a little longer.
Let's do some more with Billy Corgan.
I just have to go pee first. But.
You can pee.
Billy's going to go pee. We'll take a quick break, and then we'll continue.
He has been putting away the vodka since the minute he got here. I don't mind telling you.
Breakfast with Billy will continue on the world-famous KROQ when we come back.
Smashing Pumpkins on 106.7 KROQ. What are you looking at there, Billy? Have a seat.
My cell phone's
Yeah, the phone's ringing. Here, you take that, Bob. What do you think of Oasis, by the way, Billy? You like any of the new British invasion that allegedly is sweeping the airwaves?
I like Oasis. I like Oasis. I don't like the rehashing of the bad rock attitude.
Yeah, there's them and Blur. They're trying to make it the front page headlines that they hate each other. I guess
it's 1996. I mean, let's stop pretending that like they're different than we are and all that stuff. I mean,
we all just get along.
They make great music. Fine. They don't have to be whatever's.
It's Breakfast with Billy Corgan on the Kevin and Bean Show. We're going a little bit late. We're going to do one more segment of questions from the audience here.
We're into overdrive here. You guys, by the way, give yourselves a hand. Have been a terrific audience here this morning.
Would it be infringing to have Tammy come up and sit next to me?
No, have Tammy come on up.
Tammy, come on up. All right, we got a few more people who, Tammy Heidi, everybody. A few more people with questions.
I love Tammy.
We told you when we started putting this thing together last week that if possible, everybody was going to get a chance to ask a question, and it's working out pretty good so far, so.
All right. They're rearranging the couch so that Tammy can sit down. Go ahead.
All right, who's next?
What is your name?
My name is Alex, and I want to ask him some song, Space Boy.
Mm-hmm.
I read in the magazine that you talk about your brother or something that's dedicated to your brother.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if you still have a chance to talk to him, or do you bring him along sometimes? I think he's kind of sick or something. I don't know. I read in the magazine, Circus magazine, actually.
Mm-hmm. There's a good magazine.
Yeah. Well, hey, that was the only one.
High journalism there.
Picture. Yeah. I was just wondering if you still talk to your brother, or you take him around or something. Do you share the thing that you have, or bring him along?
I'm still very close to my brother. Yes.
He is in the family. He doesn't get out of the family just because Billy's famous.
People forget. Well, sometimes when you get famous, you forget about the family. It's like they never backed me up. They didn't believe in me. So.
I've actually mended a lot of fences with my family, and I'm very close to my family now.
How weird is it, by the way? I mean, as a guy like you, I guess most people who are in rock bands go into music because they're fans of music. But is it weird when you find yourself on the cover of Rolling Stone and you find yourself on the cover of Spin? I mean, does that freak you out?
Well, it's like even last night I was going to dinner, and we had the radio on, and 1979 was on. It's like listening to somebody else or something, It's like hard to imagine that it came from this nogging here.
Your name is?
Carrie. I wanted to know, were you surprised at how many people showed up at the Bullets with Butterfly Wings and were willing to get covered in mud? Is that neat for you?
Talking about the video shoot.
I was surprised at how many people showed up, but I wasn't surprised at how many people left. like about 12 noon, like the mud rinks started breaking, and down the hill they went.
You were one of the people over there, I take it?
Yeah, it was.
Can you see yourself in the video, or was it all for naught?
Yeah, I'm the bucket one. You guys made fun of me. I'm the one with the bucket. But
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
How did you get in?
Embarrassed me in front of everyone.
Security?
Yeah, Quentin Tarantino called from that. He got her, the bucket roll. She got up in a part.
Quentin Tarantino called and got her apart just from the bucket roll. Got it. Well done. Your name is?
Bobby Millie. I was wondering if you ever wanted to maybe in the future start your own label, maybe.
I've thought about it. Right now, though, I don't feel like I could devote enough energy to it, and I also feel that I'm still at a point in my life where I would probably be too nosy and tell people what to do. So when I grow up a little bit, maybe.
Are there up-and-coming performers that you know that deserve widespread recognition that you can help at this point?
Well, that's the problem. I'm so busy, I can't really spend time to find new bands. And if you're going to start a label, you have to find bands at, like, the very, very early level. I mean, I certainly hear about bands when they start to make records, but that's not going to do me any good.
Right, yeah.
Your name is?
Frida. Hi, Billy.
Hi.
Well, I was wondering how, the press seeks you out a lot and doesn't seek, the rest of the band. How do you feel about that,
I understand it to the point of people are trying to make some kind of connection between the songs and me and whatever, but it gets a little silly after a while. I mean, certainly we do interviews and we interview as a band, and the person interviewing us doesn't ask any of the band members any questions. They just completely ignore the band members.
Some of that goes with the territory of being the front man, and some of it goes with being the lyricist, I suppose. So
I understand it, but I still think that I'm endlessly amazed by, I imagine if I was a reporter in 1972 and I was talking to,
the Stones say.
Right, or somebody you would want to understand why the band works the way it works. You would want to hear more about how that record was really made. But people just want to ask about, remember that time you smashed your guitar over somebody's head? And, it's just all about that. And then people ask questions from other interviews they've read.
Right.
So it just cycles on like that endlessly.
Wait, Tammy Heidi has joined us on the couch here at Capitol Records. Have we missed a big question, Tammy, or how are we doing?
Well, I was just noticing it's Groundhog's Day, and this is the first of 3 nights at the Palace, so I'm figuring this is just going to keep happening over and over and over until we get it right.
Oh, I thought you were going to make the joke that because I've appeared, winter is going to be shorter.
Well, that too. That was my next comment.
There's no shadow inside here, though. So
all right, we weren't missing anything by not having Tammy on. All right, who's next down there?
Blow me.
Hi, what is your name?
Daisy. I would like to know how come you don't allow moshing in your concerts?
No, see, that's not true at all. I mean, people are going to do whatever they want to do. But publicly, we've kind of come out and say that the whole thing with moshing has just become like a ridiculous, stupid thing. And anybody who's been to a concert lately knows that it's ceased to be a spontaneous act. It is like standard concert operating procedure. I go to the concert to mosh. And we were playing in San Diego the other day, and I was looking out, and there were guys out there who probably had never heard a Smashing Pumpkins record in their life. They were just there to basically knock into other people who looked just like them. And I think it's the whole thing silly, and being this person, I'll call the thing silly. If we rock you, we want you to rock too, but Disarm is not a moshing song, and it never will be. And I guarantee you there will be somebody on top of somebody tonight during Disarm. So there you go.
I kind of get the impression up on stage some bands plan on smashing their guitars at the end of the song, not because they're so overcome by the music that they're playing, but because it looks cool to do that.
Well, if God rest Kurt's soul, but you notice how he always would switch to another cheaper guitar, and not smash the one he always played, so.
All right, thank you.
I think we got, one more?
Let's do one more question. Your name is?
Christina. I just say I love you. And also, what's your personal
Does your
meaning?
mother know, though?
Yes, she does. She almost came here with me. But what's your personal meaning behind the song Soothe? Because I've noticed that most people kind of like make their own meaning. Each song means something differently to me. I was wondering what that one means to you.
It's really a deep song about mayonnaise.
Seriously. What does it mean to you?
These are all such depressing questions.
Well, I always listen to that song when I'm depressed.
You're the one that wrote the music.
I know. Yeah, I know. Let me tell you, I live with that.
See, because I can personally relate to having a really bad childhood and, like, being really screwed up as a child.
Mm-hmm.
And most of your songs have really related to my life.
Mm-hmm.
I really
well,
thank you
actually,
for
that song doesn't really have anything to do with childhood.
Well, no, but it's
Burst your
everything
bubble.
that's happened in my life since.
Yeah, I think that song talks about I wrote that song probably about 7 in the morning. I wasn't able to sleep, and I got up and I started working like I normally do, and I wrote that song just kind of as like how I felt, which is like how you just feel empty sometimes. You don't know why. There's no particular reason. No one's hurt you. You just feel like crap, And it's kind of about that longing, that this human desire that we have to make some sort of connection, and I think that's runs life at its very core. So that's really all it's about.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Well, Billy,
Yeah,
this is terrific that you're here today.
It's so heavy. My head hurts.
Your head is exploding now with all of that. Well, that's how the music affects so many of your fans, I guess.
You want to tell a joke or something? Lighten things up? You have a joke?
I only know dirty jokes.
Well, perhaps not appropriate.
I'm not going to work blue today.
Okay, good. Hey, this was, am I right, folks, when I say this was a very special morning on the KROQ? I don't think there are a lot of artists who would come down and do this, and we really do appreciate it. It's very cool. We hope you have a terrific stand at the Palace this weekend.
If my voice lasts, yeah.
If your voice lasts, and I hope you'll come back through. It's some bigger places like you're talking about. We get a chance more of us can see the show, and you'll come back on KROQ and spend some time with us if you can.
And to all of those of you who aren't here, thank you for your support. We've always had great success here with people, and we're really happy to be here.
All right, Billy Corgan, folks. How about that? Thank you all for coming, by the way. Thanks to Virgin Records for all the help, and the people here at Historic Capitol Records in Hollywood, too. This has been a very special thing. I hate to leave you with a foreigner, but I think Richard Blade is back at the station and he's ready to take over.
By the way, we've made some fun of Gene Sandwell, but he had a lot to do with putting this together too. So
yeah, whatever. Whatever.
All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with some more K-Rock music in a second.